Welcome back and good afternoon. I hope you all are fine by the grace of the Almighty. So, today I'm going to talk about some changes which are taking place in society and which are simultaneously taking place in literature also. And specifically, I'll be talking about some changes in criticism. See, if you try to have a look at criticism, you'll find that it has seen a journey. And criticism during the time of Aristotle was quite different, and today, criticism is in a very different form. It is in a very different form. So it has seen a journey, and that is from simple criticism to critical approaches, and today we have modern critical approaches that you call by the name of theoretical approaches also, or literary theories, right? So it has seen a journey. Fine. Actually, the fact is that everything is changing. The world is changing, and the words are also changing. So literature is also changing. The society is changing. Our approaches are changing. Our ideas are changing. So I'll be focusing on some these changes today. See, I have already told you that great literature is not for an age, but it's for all the ages, and it's not for any particular society or area or people, but it is for all the societies, for all the areas, and for all the people across the world, right? And the main thing is that it deals with common human passions like love, hate, ambition, and jealousy. And for your kind information, these human passions, they remain same in all the ages. Whether you talk about love, or you talk about hatred, or you talk about ambition, or any other, human passion, you'll find that, they remain same in all the ages. How? Let me clarify and let me simplify. See, even today you can find tortured personalities like Hamlet. And I think Hamlet is the only character in the whole range of literature with whom you can identify yourself absolutely. Because he is in every person. Hamlet is in you, he is in me, he seems to be in every person. Right? So even today you can find so many Hamlets in the society. I mean, you can find tortured personalities like Hamlet. And even today you can find overambitious people like Macbeth and Lady Macbeth and Dr. Faustus, right? And you know that the Trojan War, it was fought for a woman, Helen, and words go that around one third of the total population of that time was killed in this war. So even today you can find disputes and bloodshed for the sake of women. You can find in newspapers, right? Then earlier also conspiracies were made, and earlier also empires were usurped, and kings were murdered. Don't you feel that the same things are happening even today, somehow in a changed form? Today, the place of empires, it has been replaced by, you know, property and land. Fine. So even today you can find conspiracies in the society, and even today you can find conflicts and disputes. Then I hope you remember that Clytemnestra, the Greek lady. She murdered her husband Agamemnon with the help of her lover Aegisthus. I hope you are familiar with this incident and you are familiar with this myth of the Trojan War. So Clytemnestra murdered her husband Agamemnon, with the help of her lover Aegisthus. Even today, you can find that husbands are murdered by their wives with the help of their lovers. I have been observing the newspapers, for the last 6 or 7 months. And what I find is that during the last 6 or 7 months, around 40 Agamemnons have been murdered by different Clytemnestras in Meerut alone. So this is the situation of Meerut. You can imagine the situation of the world. So what I mean to say is that, human passions like love, hatred, ambition, and jealousy, they remain same in all the ages, right? But, things around us are changing. The world is changing. The society is changing, right? So, this change is bound to take place in the society. So when the society is changing, when everything is changing, literature is also changing. So how this literature is changing and how these changes are reflected in literature, we can understand it through three waves. We can understand it through three waves, right? So the first wave is, you can call it the agrarian revolution. And the second one, this may be the industrial revolution, and the third one may be the information or microchip revolution. So let us talk about the first wave, that is the agrarian revolution, right? See, a time was there when life was village centered, it was family centered, and it was community centered, right? At the same time, life was rural and it was settled, and at the same time, feudalism. It was an accepted way of life. And you can find that, you know, all the families used to have heads, the communities used to have, heads, and the villages also had some head, right? So these families and communities and villages, they were headed by some leaders. I mean, there used to be one main person called head in the society. So this was the rural time. Fine. Then the second wave is the industrial revolution. Now this industrial revolution, it resulted in urbanization and capitalism. You know, After industrialization, a number of mills and factories were established, and these mills and factories were established particularly in the urban areas. So people started migrating to the cities in search of jobs. So what happened? The result was that life became urban and it became migrative, and at the same time it became mechanical also, because people started working with machines and computers. Right. Then, institutions like offices came into entity. And at this particular time, or during this particular period, the group of powerful people, it imposed its ideas on others on the name of universalization. Or you just can say that some groups of powerful people, they imposed their ideas on others on the name of universalization, right? Then the third wave is that of, you can say, the information or microchip revolution. Fine. Now it brought robots and computers into entity. So with the arrival of robots and computers, human beings, they got more and more time for self-articulation and critical and creative thinking. Now, due to electronic revolution, the home became the office. The office had already come into entity during the second wave, and that is the Industrial Revolution. Right? But during the third wave, that is the Information Revolution. Now, this was the time of, electronic revolution also. Right? So, due to this electronic revolution, the home became the office. And some more things took place. And the particular thing was that women also started getting equality. So men and women, they got equal opportunities, right? So women also started going to offices, and she crossed the four walls of home, though it irritated, the male persons. It irritated the male person. Right. In the context of the white man, you can say that the white man was just coming out of the Victorian society where women were not allowed to go outside the home. But in the next generation, they were going to offices with suitcases in their hands, and the white man was standing there helplessly and hopelessly. He could not have done anything, but it irritated him. It irritated him, the woman whom he subjugated. Now she was going out of home and she was going to the office, and she was basically taking his place in the office. Fine. So he was looking back at everything in anger, but unfortunately or fortunately, he was not able to do anything. Right. So my point is that men and women, they both got equal opportunities. Right. Right. So life became global, and this globalization, it is projected as a solution to all the problems by the West. Hmm. In the 1930s and 40s, Marxism, it was supposed to be an antidote to all the problems. In the same way, in the 20th century, or during this third wave particularly, this globalization is projected as a solution to all problems, particularly by the West. Right? So, what I'm trying to say again is that, this change is bound to take place in our life, right? So, everything is undergoing a change. The world is changing, and the words are changing. Fine. And anything that does not change becomes dead. Change is the rule of nature. So, we change the world, and the world changes us. Then we change the words, words. Then we change the words, and in return, the words change us. Getting my point? Again, you know, anything that does not change becomes dead, because change is the rule of nature. We have to change with the passage of time. So everything is undergoing a change. So when our notions about life are changing, life is bound to change with these changes. So criticism is also changing. Literature is also somehow changing, right? So during the time of Aristotle, criticism was the simple criticism in the form of literary criticism. Then we witnessed, critical approaches, and today we have modern critical approaches. So this criticism has also seen a journey. This is basically an answer to the question, why should we study theory? We should study theory in order to understand this change, which is continuously taking place in the society. Right? So, today we have modern critical approaches, but this is not the end of everything. You cannot say that theory is the end of everything. There is something beyond theory also. Right? And as I told you in the previous clip, that somehow this theory is uh, You can say that it is distorting the face of literature, but you can take it in a positive way also. You can say that this theory is giving great liberty to we people to analyze literature in different ways. Today, I hope you all are familiar with the queer theory. I'm not going into the detail of this theory, but the theory says, I'm just giving the essence of this theory in one line. It says that uh, it is not only the heterosexuality that is normal sexuality. It is not only the heterosexuality that is the normal sexuality. So, what does it mean? I mean, you can interpret it in your own ways. So what this queer theory is trying to say, it is that there is not just one type of sexuality that is normal sexuality. Other forms of sexuality are also in in the category of normal sexualities. Is that clear? Anyways, I'm not going into the detail of it, but I'm trying to say that today this theory has given much liberty to we people, and today this theory has given much scope to we people to interpret the matter. Anyways, so when you talk about approaches today, you can divide them into four parts, right? The first one is you can say author-oriented approaches. Author-oriented approaches. Now, in it, you can include classicism and humanism. Classicism and humanism. So, I feel that you all are aware of classicism, but what is humanism? See, you just can say that it is I mean a kind of rational outlook giving value to human rather than divine or supernatural matters. The medieval ages, they were the ages of the dominance of divine things, scholastic philosophy and supernatural elements, right? So it is basically, I mean, humanism. It is a Renaissance, I mean, cultural movement, and you just can say it is a cultural movement turning from medieval scholasticism to Greek thought. Means it tries to take human beings from darkness to light. Getting my point? So, I mean, human beings were also given some importance along with, you know, the divine and the supernatural matters. So this is humanism. So the first one is author-oriented approaches, and here we can include classicism and humanism. And the second one is reader-oriented approaches, and here you can include reader response theory. Then we have context-oriented approaches, and here you can include psychoanalysis, feminism, Marxism, Stoicism, and archetypal criticism and cultural studies, right? And the last one is text-oriented approaches. Text-oriented approaches. And here you can include all the modern, theories like formalism, new criticism, stylistics, structuralism, post-structuralism, and deconstruction. Deconstruction. Right? So theory has, I mean, criticism has seen a journey. Is that clear? Now, in the next clip, I'll be talking about literary theory and what is literary about it, and what may be the differences between literary criticism and literary theory. Do you feel that they both are same, or they both are different areas of inquiry? Right. So in the next clip, I'll be talking about this particular idea. Thank you and good day.